I've heard that life is what you make it. I say make room to grow. I'm your host, LaWanda Dockery, and this is the Make Room to Grow podcast. It all started with a dream about growing food, and who would ever imagine that growing food would lead to me learning about personal growth and development? Well, it did, and I want to bring you along for this beautiful ride. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Grow Nation. How are you guys? I hope this finds you well. I hope this finds you looking forward to a nice day out in the garden. It is super duper rainy here. It's been rainy for the last couple of days, but it's good for our plants. Speaking of plants, I'm always thinking of something. And when I think of something, I like to come and share with you guys. I was out in the garden this morning taking inventory. And I'm noticing that there are a bunch of new things that I've never grown before, things that I have no grid for, no template for. I'm just winging it. I have these giant green tomatoes. I have marigolds that haven't quite bloomed yet. I just planted some nasturtium. I have white potatoes, pumpkin, and Luffa. So I looked around and I thought, what if in this season in your life, you are growing new things that you have had no history growing, things that you don't know what the track record looks like, you don't know what the pests look like. What if you are in a season where everything that's growing in your life is new? Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now shall it spring forth? Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." What if a new thing is growing in your life, but you're not even noticing it? I did not even really notice it until one of my best friends said to me, "Is this the most you've ever grown in your garden?" And I was like, no, we've had more things before. Then I mentioned it to my husband. I said, "Hey, babe, is this the most that we've ever grown in our garden?" And he said, "Well, I think this is the most expansive. This is the most that we've ever had around the yard." And I was like, I didn't look at it like that. When you're growing something new, you just don't know what to expect. You know what you did in the years before. You know what that looks like. You know those patterns. You know when you're about to get food. You know when you're about to get flowers. You know when the plant is about to die off. But in this case, take the loofah, for example. We've never grown it. We've tried it from seed, but we've never gotten farther than just seedlings. This year, I bought a starter plant back in June. Now, I've researched the plant, and according to the research, it takes 2 to 3 months before this plant will even start fruiting. Now we're getting to the point where it's starting to flower and fruit. And we weren't sure, is that the fruit? Is that what the fruit looks like? Is there a male flower and a female flower? Can we hand pollinate? We just don't know. And so part of it is that we're waiting. We saw these leaves coming on, but then now we see what the little pods or a little cluster of flowers look like when they're coming up. We see what the fruit looks like, but who knows what really will be the end product. Now let's look at our giant green tomatoes. I started these seeds back in April, guys. I'm just now getting tomatoes. It's 4 months later. It's like, I didn't think it could take that long for tomatoes. Tomato seems to be a vigorous, prolific plant. Any other tomatoes that we've grown, and we've only done the cherry ones, but they seem to be no problem, give you fruit quickly. This tomato took forever. We had to baby it and give it some fish emotion and coddle it some more and give it some more support. And finally, my sister can get her fried green tomatoes. And then my husband messed around and got us a growing table. Well, we just took a regular, not a 6 foot, but maybe a 4 foot table and put some seedlings on. And when I tell y'all, that was a game changer. These plants are so sturdy and healthy. I don't want to speak too soon when I say that, but I was able to grow a pumpkin seedling. I have some more cantaloupe up there. He has cucumber, and I have one cucumber plant that's so sturdy, so healthy, because it's not on the ground level where the pests can get to it easily. So that was another game changer this year. Then I also have some white potatoes. I'm getting getting to know how those grow. Those are, I took a couple inches of, maybe 6 inches of soil, put in the bottom of a bucket. I took the seed potatoes that have already started to sprout, put the sprout side up, covered those with another few inches of soil well above it. And now the greenery is starting to come up, and I will continue to cover that with soil until it gets to the top of the bucket. And then once the leaves die off, then I will know that the potatoes are ready. I also have some golden beets growing in the bucket, and I'm trying the red ace beets as well. I'm also trying some nasturtium. I mentioned that earlier. My friendly groundhogs have bitten off 3 of the 4, but at least I still have 1. So we'll see what's going with that. I have a couple of flowers that I'm waiting on, the marigolds, of course. And I'm waiting on some Black Prince snapdragons to germinate. I don't know how long those take, but I'll let you know. All in all, my whole purpose in getting on here today was to tell you sometimes you have to try new things in your life. I am at a transition point in my life where I no longer can do what I used to do, or I no longer can rely on what I did all of my life. And I'm in new territory. This is new ground. But I'm noticing in my garden that this is new ground. This is new territory. And I don't know the ropes. I'm learning. I'm trusting God. And when he's doing something new in your life, it won't look familiar, but it will be fruitful. So guys, until next time, I want you to be intentional about those areas in your life where you are going to make room to grow.